Why don't you take that painted face and go back to the gutter where you came from? This is a decent neighborhood. I swear, those words just kind of hung in the air, buzzing like a wasp you thought you'd already swatted. One of those perfect Saturdays, sun's out, not too hot. My wife's just walking up the driveway, looking sharp, all braids and businesslike, a blazer, pants, her face lit up with that makeup she does, not stagey, just enough to feel powerful. Makes her walk like she owns the block, you know? I'm in the garage fooling with the lawnmower, feeling like the luckiest guy around. When I hear it, the shouting. I step out, and there she is. The lady from 3 houses down. One of those pastel tracksuit types, always walking that yappy dog, looking like she could be hosting a bake sale or running a boot camp. Today she's head-to-toe pink, vibrating with this crazy rage, clutching one of those giant plastic tumblers. She's screaming at my wife, who's just standing in our driveway, not sure whether to run or just laugh. My wife's not the confrontational kind. She freezes, looking so confused you'd think she walked into a surprise party thrown by strangers. I'm halfway to thinking I misheard when, boom, the lady yells that line about painted face and the gutter. My blood goes cold. And then, before I can even move, she steps right onto our property line, flicks her wrist, and throws the contents of her cup dead at my wife. Not a spill. An assault. Full, intentional. Water splashes right across my wife's face, taking her makeup with it. She gasps, stepping back. It's like someone took a masterpiece and smeared it with mud, and the look on her face. I'll never forget that mix of shock and humiliation, not anger yet, just this stunned, exposed silence. Now, I'm not a fighter, but I saw red, like full tunnel vision. I sprinted out yelling, "What the hell are you doing?" My own voice scared me, deep and raw. The lady? She doesn't even flinch. She steps back onto her own lawn like there's a force field, holding up her empty cup like she's just won a prize. She sneers. Someone had to teach her a lesson. We don't allow that kind of presentation around here. It's trashy. My wife's still frozen, water dripping onto her blazer. I stop myself right at the line, fists clenched, every muscle screaming for me to do something I'd regret. "You are out of your mind," I hiss. "You assaulted my wife. I'm calling the police." She shrugs, dares me to, and spins around, strutting home like she's just set the world right. I check my wife. She can't talk, just nods, tears mixing with mascara, trying to wipe it all away. That little gesture, so vulnerable, almost breaks me. How can someone hate so casually? I dial 911. As I'm fumbling with the phone, I hear her front door slam, then the engine of her old sedan roaring like she's going to take off. But no, she slams it into reverse, shoots out of her driveway, swerves, then floors it straight at our picket fence. Slow motion, her jaw set, sunlight flashing on the windshield, the white fence shattering like a toothpick, chunks flying. She doesn't even slow down. The car ends up in our Elia bush. The engine dies, and for a second there's nothing but ticking metal and my wife sobbing behind me. The lady gets out, dazed, stares at the wreck, then at us. No apology, no shame, just that cold, dead look. I finally dial 911 for real. Sirens take forever. She stands there, arms crossed, neighbors peeking through curtains, whispering. I get my wife inside, dry her off, try to convince both of us it'll be okay. The first cop's young, deadpan, seen it all. As soon as he steps up, the lady flips the script, her voice quivering. She's the frail, old victim now. I was so scared, officer. They were yelling at me, threatening me. She points at us, telling a story so wild for a split second I almost questioned my own memory. The officer listens to her, then to me, skeptical, pen hovering, writing down her lies like gospel. My anger is now evidence against me. I can see it in his eyes. I'm not the husband defending his wife. I'm the angry black man she's warning him about. He finally says, "We've got a he said, she said here, but there's clear property damage." Wants both our info, tells me to calm down, like that's going to work. Back inside, I tell my wife, they're listening to her, not us. Her pain's got a new layer now. Not just humiliation, but the sting of knowing someone's believing her attacker. When I finally see the report, my story is a 3-line afterthought. Hers? She's the victim, supported by the neighbor across the street, the guy who watches everything and never, ever helps. It gets worse. The neighbor comes over, hands wringing, just wanting to help. Says he gave a witness statement. But no, he didn't see her throw water. He saw my wife being aggressive. Another lie. They're building a wall of lies around us, using the system to isolate and trap us. That's how it works here. You don't belong. They decide, and now you're the problem. And then, a twist. I remember the doorbell camera, the new one I installed last week. My hands shake as I scroll back through the footage. There it is. The Karen's voice, sharp as a blade. The entire exchange, clear as day. Her screaming, "You people have a lot of nerve. Go back to the gutter." The cup flying. My wife gasping. Even her "someone had to teach her a lesson" is caught on tape. Then the car, caught swerving and plowing through our fence. Not a trace of hesitation or brake lights. It's all on video. The proof, the knockout punch. The relief is overwhelming. My wife cries, this time out of relief, vindication. They have no idea, I say. But they're about to. We go to the station, flash drive in hand. The desk sergeant is uninterested until my wife, voice calm but steel-edged, says, "This is a hate crime." Finally, a detective watches the footage, stone-faced until the crash. Then he says it. Her foot didn't slip. It's the first real validation we get. It's a start. But just as hope flickers, we get an HOA letter, official notice of violation. For our fence. For aggressive behavior. She's filed a formal complaint. Her neighbor backs her up. The HOA board is her friends. They can fine us, even try to take us to court. They're squeezing us, hoping we'll just leave. It's war now. We call a civil rights lawyer, an old friend's referral. He listens, takes notes, then says, "This is one of the clearest cases I've ever seen." He draws up a battle plan. Push for criminal charges with hate crime enhancements. Sue Karen and her neighbor for assault, emotional distress, defamation, punitive damages. He'll go after the HOA too. You don't talk to anyone, he says. Not the cops, not the insurance, not the HOA. From now on, it's call my lawyer. And just like that, things shift. The HOA rescinds the violation. Karen and her neighbor are served with lawsuits. The neighborhood turns cold, curtains twitch, gossip spreads. But then, unexpectedly, a neighbor comes by with banana bread and says, "We don't believe them. We know what she's like. You're brave for fighting back." Others quietly show support. A camera angle here, a wink there. We're not alone. The legal fight is slow, but the DA files charges. At the deposition, Karen doubles down, swears under oath that my wife attacked her, that the crash was an accident. Our lawyer lets her dig deeper, then calmly pulls out the video. Watching her face when the truth plays, the venom in her own voice echoing in the room, her own lawyer frozen in shock. It's the most satisfying thing I've ever seen. "Is that you?" our lawyer asks. She can't deny it. The lie crumbles right there on record. For the first time, we're not shouting into the void. We're not the angry ones. We're the ones with receipts. The fight's not over, far from it. But now it's not just about us. It's for everyone on this block who's ever been bullied by the neighborhood tyrants. Maybe the American dream isn't about a perfect fence or friendly block parties. Maybe it's about standing your ground, holding your own, finding the few neighbors who'll fight beside you when it counts. So, tell me, where do you draw the line? When you're home, your truth, your dignity is on the line. Do you fight or do you fold? Drop a comment. Tell me what you'd do if you were in my shoes. Let's talk about justice and what it really means to live in a community. Because right now, I'm thinking it's a lot more complicated than anyone wants to admit.